What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit your subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is First Wives Club Season 2, Episode 10. So we are at the season finale. So we start this episode off. We have Hazel talking to Jayla, and she is, upset. She thinks Nigel then already went back to Jamaica. His flight leaves at 7. And, they are commiserating. Jayla's being a good friend. Trying to be there, and Hazel said, you might have earned your friend's wings tonight, because remember, she been giving Jayla a hard time all season. And, so she's whining about missing Nigel or whatever. And Jayla says, you know what? She says, well, what do you think? And she said, you know what I really think? She said, I really think that I don't understand why you sitting here. Like, JFK isn't that far. His flight doesn't leave till 7. You have time to go and get him. And Hazel is like, you know what? You are absolutely correct. I do. So she is in her Uber and she's trying to get to the airport and traffic is bad. She fussing at her Uber driver, telling him he can go faster, and he is telling her, but I can't. Like, I need my 5-star rating and I ain't about to get it fooling with you. And so he asked her. He said, well, where am I taking you? What terminal? And she was like, I don't know. He said, so you rushing me to hurry up and get here, and you don't even know what terminal? She said, well, he going to Jamaica. That's all I know. He was like, yeah, see, yeah, okay. So they're sitting in traffic, and she looks over, and who's next to her in a car next to her is Nigel. So she gets out, and he's like, girl, what are you doing? It's raining. He's like, what are you doing standing in the middle of the street in the rain? And she said, I'm looking for you. She said, listen, I am so sorry. I love you. I miss you. I'm so sorry. And he's like, she said, you were on your way to Jamaica. He said, I wasn't going to Jamaica. I was dropping my aunt off at the airport. She's going to Jamaica. And she was like, listen, Nigel, I am so sorry that I almost ruined our marriage by worrying about, ruined our marriage by worrying about a wedding. That's not important to me. I love you, whatever it is that we need to do, and he's skeptical, he kind of like giving her the side eye first, but then he going to give it to her, he going to give it to her. So they kiss and they make up, yada, yada, yada. So then we have Bree packing for her conference, and of course she turned down the chief of staff job. But she's frustrated, she beating up on the suitcase, and she's talking to Gary, and Gary is like, Bree, you need to chill out. You cussing out the suitcase. You packing too much and you doing too much. Like, chill out. And she's like, you know what, Gary, why don't you come with me? Like, come down to Jamaica with me, have a good time. I think they were in Jamaica. Come and have a good time. Let's just get away. We can leave the kids with the nanny. And he said, I would love to, but I have that important meeting with, Essence Magazine. I need to, meeting with the editor. And she was like, oh, yeah, that's right. So she gets to the airport, and she sees Doctor. And the doctor is ignoring her. And she was like, oh, so that's what we doing? So, like, he sees her, and she tries to speak to him and stuff, and he give her the, like the side eye. So she was like, oh, that's what we doing. Okay, that's how we playing it. So then we have Hazel, because she happy now. She got her man back. And last week we saw her figure out, she didn't share with us the idea. But last week we saw that she figured out how she could do right by Regina, but still keep her record label the way she needs it. So she came up with this great idea to have a female, all girls R&B tour. So it's going to be Regina, her, and then she brought in my girl Shantae Moore. Shantae Moore is one of my favorite, and when I say favorite, one of my favorite R&B artists. Kelly Price and Shanice, who I think is probably one of the most underrated female R&B artists. And it's going to be called Hazel Presents, whatever her last name is, presents the Ladies First Tour. And so, of course, everybody is down for that. They're excited. They're looking forward to it. So Hazel has solved her problems, right? So then we see Miss Jayla. Now, Jayla has all the ammo. She's meeting with Maxine and the lawyers, the Maxine's soon-to-be ex-husband and the lawyer that, she got the thing with. And her boss, who has been threatening her this whole time about whether they're going to keep her on or not. She got to prove herself. So with all of the information that Versace had gathered, she basically is able to hand this man his ass. She found an application that he filled out for the kids to go to school, this this upscale private school, and he says on the application that the job that he really is a stay-at-home dad, that the job that they have him on paper is really just it's just on paper. He never goes to that job. It's not a real job. It's fake. And so the lawyer, his lawyer was like, okay, fine. He said that, but this also proves our other point, which is that he is the sole provider and the primary caregiver, which is what we're trying to get full custody. And she said, yeah. But I also found this, and she found all these Instagram pictures that coincide with times that he's supposed to be at home taking care of the kids, but the nannies are really taking care of the kids. So he basically walked himself into that trap, which essentially now he has to basically let go of his claim for the kids. Maxine is able to keep full custody of her children, and we find out that Jayla, that actually earned Jayla a junior partnership position. So she solidified her job and handed the old boy his ass. And I thought that he was going to like be mad at her or renege on the whole, when this case is over, we're going to, try to see what we can do. But baby, later on that night, she met up with old boy and he was like, you really handed me my ass. You gave me my first L, but that's all good. Like, it's happy to see you. I'm glad you're here. And baby, they go walking off into the sunset. I said, okay, I see you. I see you, Miss Jayla. I see you. You see me. We see each other. Okay. So then, Gary, I'm sorry, we see Gary. Gary is happy. He done had his meeting. He has got some good news. And so he calls Bree and he says, baby, I got some great news and I am going to meet you after all. So I will see you there. And in my mind, at that moment, I said, oh, this is about to be ugly. Gary going to walk in on something. That's going to be the cliffhanger for next season. It's going to be ugly, right? So we see Bree roll up on Dr. Day at the bar, and he's not speaking to her. And she's like, you know what? This is real childish. Like, I know you see me. Like, this is what we're going to do. You're just going to ignore me. You're just going to pretend like I'm not here. And he said, I put my name on the line and I campaigned for you for months, only for you to not only turn the job down, but now I'm forced to hire somebody that's that's pales in comparison to how qualified you were. So yeah, I'm feeling some kind of way about that, and you owe me an explanation. And so she said, listen, I'm really, really sorry about that, but I did what I felt was in the best interest of my kids and with my family. And he was like, yeah, but... And she said, okay, you know what? If you really want to know the truth is, I got a thing for you. And it scared me if I took that job, how closely we would work together and what that might mean. He said, well, if I'm being honest, the feelings are mutual. And I definitely understand where you're coming from. He said, and I tell you what, we can continue this conversation up in my room. And he told her the room number. He said, I'll be up there hanging out, not doing nothing. He said, but if you choose not to show up, I'll respect that too. So next thing you know, we see him up in his room, looking at the menu and stuff, kind of looking a little frustrated. We see Bree in the mirror putting on her lip gloss. And baby, she knocks on the door. But who's on the other side of that door? Gary. I said, I know that's right, Gary. And he rented a suite. And he got it all decked out and got flowers and champagne and all that. And, he's telling her, he said, listen, he said, I got the job. I'm going to be, I got some paid writing gigs. So, we could splurge a little bit because he got a suite. And so you see that, because there's this whole narration going on, and she's talking about, staying where, things are good, and, that her and Gary, so I'm glad. Like, on one hand, it would have been cool to get the cliffhanger, but I'm glad that she made that decision. I'm glad she didn't do it, because it would have been so easy to be like, well, he owe me one. You know what I'm saying? Or I owe him one, I should say. because, you know, I was there for him and he did me wrong kind of thing. But neither here nor there. That's how that whole thing ended. And the last thing we see is we see the actual concert. We see Deborah Cox, Kelly Rowland, Kelly Price, Shantae Moore, Shanice. They are on stage singing Lady Marmalade, and it is good. It is great. They are singing their asses off, and I'm here for all of it. And of course, everybody is in the audience. Now Ari is still in California. She ain't even come. I wonder if she wasn't vaccinated or something, because she did not film the whole season. And now that I think about it, I don't think we saw her in any scenes with anybody else. Maybe that very first episode, I think we saw her in a scene with somebody. I don't know. I'm wondering what that was about. But neither here nor there. We see her, you know, coming up out her house. And who done took a flight out to California to come visit her? Her man. Well, now I say that they actually were in a scene together, so duh. But I don't know why she didn't film the whole season with everybody else. I don't know. Because even the storyline was awkward, because that's not even where we left off last season. But anyway, so baby, he went out there to see his woman, okay? So that's how the episode and the season ended. I don't know. I haven't checked. I haven't heard anything about a season 3. But I guess I'm here for it if there is one. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.